All right, welcome back. We're heading up quickly to 9 o'clock this morning, and I'm afraid it has been the story of the past few days. Many children are still not in school. One school in Pretoria is now being accused of racism, though. Some parents say that large school Dani Malan in Pretoria North is refusing to admit black learners. Well, tensions ran high yesterday between white and black parents, and now the Education Department is looking into the claims that the school is refusing to transform. eNCA reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones following developments there. We spoke to him earlier. I now see a police van outside, Pule, and I understand you're going to have a Gauteng Department Education spokesperson. It's going to be Steve Mabona joining you in a couple of moments. Before he joins you, just bring us up to speed. Where are we at this hour?
Yeah, definitely. Where we are right now is that, of course, the SGB has refuted claims of there being racism at the school. And the group of parents who are saying that their children were not allowed entry or to be admitted at the school also will be making their way here in a couple of minutes from now. But while that's the case, we speak to the spokesperson of the Gauteng Education Department, Steve Mabona. He joins me now this morning. Thank you very much, Steve, for speaking to us. Now, let's just start with why you're here today and what you will be aiming to resolve as a department here at the school.
No, well, yesterday there were parents outside the school. To a certain extent, you will understand that we have children that were coming for the first time in the school, talking about your grade ones, who experienced trauma, if one might put it that way, because I was interacting with some of the parents who are still here to say their children were traumatized. Some, they had to negotiate for children to come back to school. It was a struggle for them to understand that they need to go back there, but fortunately they managed to bring them here. So we have facilitated a psycho support. Our colleagues are on their way here. They need to provide counseling to these children so that they understand on what is really happening, because sometimes parents will find it difficult to make it easy, but professionals, they know how to do it. So they are on their way, they're coming here. They will be providing necessary counseling. We're quite happy that it's peaceful here today. Nothing is happening. We just came just to check on what is happening, and fortunately, we then need to support the parents that are saying children are traumatized. But in terms of accommodating English in the school, you'll understand that the school introduced English, but to a certain extent, they still have a majority of the Africans, or because they were single medium. So with time and capacity permitting, they should be in a position to introduce more classes. We're working very closely with them. It's not only this school that they've accommodated English. I mean, the school in Kempton Park was called Jehland. We negotiated with them 4 years ago. They introduced the English. Now, as I speak with you now, 2023, there won't be any single medium of Africans there. They are a dual medium. We are doing both English and Afrikaans. So if we negotiate, if we interact, peacefully, we are prone to, get results that will be assisting all of us.
Is that in itself problematic that some schools still learning in one medium? And of course not having introduced the medium of English as well, because yesterday some parents were saying that they want transformation as well amongst the issues.
Yeah, but this is constitutional democracy. Their rights are protected to learn in the language that they prefer, in their mother tongue, and the constitution it protects them. So what do? You can't say you want to do away with single medium. It's there, they are protected, and what must happen if demographics have changed, like in some of the areas, that's when you need to put it on the table to say, look, demographics have changed, they dictate that you need to consider introducing English, because there's those that would not want to learn in Afrikaans in entirety. So those are the things that we need to work very hard to make sure that they do happen.
And then just you're here today. Are you going to be speaking to the school regarding what transpired yesterday to get a sense as to whether the allegations of racism can be tested? Because we understand there was a clash outside the school between a group of black and white parents as well. You're here today, and obviously you have a mandate that you want to carry with being here today.
No, our officials were here yesterday already. They interacted with the school, and they've been here before. Remember the process of placement. We need to interact with our schools. If we need a school to increase capacity, we interact with our schools. So our officials have been here throughout, just to understand on how we're going to be assisting each other. But the issue of racism, you need to qualify it and say this is what transpired, which dictates that there might be racism. You can't say our children are not accepted, then there's racism. Because we use online system here. All schools, they are given an opportunity to go through their lists, which they will then look at. When those parents would have applied online anyway, and then they take it to the district must verify, and then it comes to head office. Head office will have a role as well before we go to placement. That's why we have an application period. After closing, we give ourselves probably 3 to 4 weeks to work on the list and finalize the process, and there's then that we start with the placement. So there's no element of saying, okay, these ones are black, these ones are white, this one they can't be placed. No, it doesn't work that way because we do it online.
Thank you very much, Steve Mabona, there clarifying what is happening here. Gareth was speaking to the Gauteng Department of Education spokesperson, Steve Mabona, obviously saying that the officials have been here to try and facilitate and assess what actually transpired. But of course, the pupils here at the school whose parents are saying were affected by the incident that took place yesterday will be receiving counseling.